Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is the 3rd of January 2022 and I have a project in front of me that I am going to be working on. This is my first project for the year. I'm excited to do this. As you can see, I have in front of me here, it's a cutout of a top, and this material is chambray material. It looks a lot like jeans, but it's not. It's a lovely light material. And next I have this pre-loved skirt that I'm going to attach it to this top to create a dress. I already took the elastic off. I'm going to take the elastic and use it for something else. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and press on all the different pieces and come back and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm finished pressing on the press-on, interfacing onto the different pieces. So now I'm going to be working on the collar first. This is my top collar, my top half of the collar. So I'm going to put these two pieces together, right sides together. Make sure that my notches are joined. And you can go ahead and you pin these together to secure the pieces. Alright, my seam allowance is 1 centimeter. That's like ½ an inch. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and stitch right around here, all the way here and down. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing that now. Alright, and you can see what it looks like. All of this is 1 centimeter going right across. Alright, so I'm just gonna stitch this across here. So you just want to basically hold the two pieces together. Alright, so I'm just going to stitch this down just to hold it onto the collar stand. And always remember to back stitch. I'm going to put my darts in the front and the back pieces. I'm just going to go ahead and do all my stitches, the shoulder and the back seam, the center back seam. Give this a fine stitch to hold it down, just very close to the end. I'm gonna just start to stitch my collar onto the neck of the bodice. I'm gonna start to stitch my my collar band, but I'm gonna start stitching it right in the center back. Here is a look at the collar that I just put on, and you can see how it's falling nicely in the front and in the back. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead now and deal with the sleeves and the side seams. All right, so you take one, you have this opening here, you know, that's where you have your right by the sleeve, and this is at the back. Because it's longer, it's going to make it a lot easier. So you can even put it under the foot and start sewing if you like, because you know you have excess material to work with, and you're sandwiching this in between that, right? And you put it in as much as possible, as long as you have the same seam allowance that you need. There's nothing extra going on here. You just have a nice turn right here. The next step is you put these two together. Make sure the end of your sleeve, make sure it's lined up. All I did was stitch it in a triangle way. Just stitch it right down here, and you taper it off right across here, and that's that. On the bigger side, on this bigger side where the pleats are, that's what you're going to turn under. And what we're going to do here is make put in the pleats facing this way. I'm going to stitch my cuff 1 centimeter all around. The same principle with the collar is the same thing you do here with the cuff. You just make sure it's lined up right at the corners. And I'll show you, I'm going to start my stitch right where my sleeve seam is. You can see where my seam is right here, and that's where my needle is. That's where I'm going to start my stitch. I'm going to come right to the end, put the needle down, lift the foot, turn my work around, and then I'm going to come back 1 centimeter stitch or so, and I'm going to stop right there, and then I'm going to go around my cuff. I'm just going to take my time going down at this end. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to lift my foot. Then I'm going to come across. Right? The needle down, lift my foot, and turn that again. So if you can see here, you'll see how neat this is. All right, and again you have that neat finish. All right, and even where I started, you can see where the stitch is, and it doesn't look messy or anything. And on the outside you can't tell where I start or finish. So the next step is to stitch the seam. It's the side seams, but first I'm going to overlock the side seams. Alright, and for the side seams, it's the same 1 centimeter seam allowance. Alright, so I finished both sleeves in. So I'm just going to go ahead and just stitch them. It's just regular stitch, the same 1 centimeter seam allowance. And you just stitch that all the way around both sleeves. Alright guys, so this is what the top looks like. This is what it looks like with the sleeves in. It's a little bigger than the mannequin, so it wouldn't fit as nice as how it would. I'll try it on the other mannequin and see how it works. This is how I want the sleeves to be. So basically from this, all I do is turn the sleeves up, and this is how I want them. This is the design that I have, and I'm just going to put a button right here, and that's it. I want it to be open. Right, this fits slightly better because the shoulders fit better. You can actually see how the sleeves look right here, much better than on the other mannequin. Alright, and let's get back here. Although the neck, this mannequin neck is way bigger than what it is. However, I like the way how it comes out, and it's fine. So I am ready to make my buttonholes. I'm just going to stitch this on that side, stitch this here, and then overlock. Alright guys, this is what the dress looks like, and it looks really good. It fits me really nice. I like the looseness of it. And these are the sleeves, yeah, and this is the collar right here, and that's the back. And then you have your pockets, which is an added bonus. I love pockets, so this is perfect. All right, so like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another video with more upcycled products.